All right. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Meandering with Nia. Cue theme music. Let's meander. Okay, so I had no idea that yesterday's first episode would be 20 minutes long. I that's that's a lot of time. If any of you made it through that, thank you. If not, thank you. I have a meeting in 20 minutes, and so I'm believing that I can actually make this episode shorter. If I can get it under 10 minutes, chef's kiss. So let's get right into it. As we know, what this series is doing right now is I'm going through this book, Meditations for Mortals by Oliver Burkeman. And today I just read through day 2, which was all on the topic of, quote, on actually doing things. And so what came up for me today is realizing that, like, maybe I'm not failing at life. Because one of the quotes it says is, the main point is to develop the willingness to just do something here and now as a one-off, regardless of whether it's a part of any system or habit or routine. And the author goes on to talk about, like, the skill of just doing things. And when I look at my life over the past, in particular, 3 years, I mean, I guess we could go back to 2015, so 10 years, a decade, when, like, I was like, all right, I thought I was doing med school, no, and then, started the long journey to, like, being a campus pastor, and then going to divinity school, and then doing a nonprofit, and then dancing salsa for 2 years. I'm just doing the things. I'm doing the things, and I realize I've had so much joy over these last 3 years. However, because how I've been living my life feels so countercultural, I've always wrestled with feeling a sense of shame that I'm doing it wrong, or that I'm not being a good adult, or I'm just delaying adulthood, or that blah, 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 blah. And there was something in the introduction yesterday that talked about aliveness. Let me see if I can quickly find it. And I was like, I think that's what I'm doing. Here it is. It's saying, there is a loss of aliveness that helps explain the epidemic of burnout, which isn't merely a matter of exhaustion, but it's the emptiness that comes from years of pushing oneself, machine-like, to do more and more without ever feeling like it's enough. And I wrote in the margins, I feel like I haven't lost my aliveness, my vitality for life, the sacredness of being happy, having joy, living well. And I'm always in pursuit of this vitality, of living life well, of living a life that is full of joy. It doesn't mean there's not hard things. It doesn't mean there's not a lot of grief, because what I would actually say is the people who live lives most joyfully are the people who actually have some of the deepest experiences of grief and ongoing grief. There's so much I could tell you about the grief in my life. And also there's so much I could tell you about the joy in my life. And so I'm just realizing from this chapter that, like, wait a second, maybe I'm not a failure. Like, maybe I'm not doing it all wrong, and, like, maybe actually how I'm living life is a beautiful way. So that was takeaway number 1. And then takeaway number 2 is just what the whole chapter title is about, is, like, doing things. And so I ended with writing down the quote. Let me get to it. So it's an encouragement of how the chapter ends, and it says, so just do the thing once, with absolutely no guarantee that you'll ever manage to do it again. But then perhaps you find that you do it again. And then you do it the next day, and then a few days later, and then maybe again and again and again, until before you know it, you've developed the most remarkable thing. Not a willpower to have a routine, but an emergent practice of whatever it may be, of writing, of meditating, of building a business. Something you do not solely do to become a better sort of person, though it may have that effect too, but because whatever you're bringing into reality right here on the rapids is worth bringing into reality for itself. And I've been thinking about that a lot with this YouTube channel. And I think in this season of my life right now is me having an act of faith in myself. I'm going to go on a little bit of tangent right here. So just bear with me for a second I want to talk a little bit about faith and hope. Okay, so bear with me for a little bit. I have been thinking a lot about how I'm not a fan of hope. I'm just like, hope, immediately no. I can do a whole episode on that. I have some blog posts on that. However, I think hope is based in a future. Hope is based in expectation. Hope is based in something happening. Faith is just like outside of the confines of that. Faith is like, it's actually not based on anything happening. I'm just like, I have faith that like I am here and I am a human and I'm doing the best I can, and that God, universe, spirit, divine is like conspiring for my good and for my favor. And so like, therefore, like I can just show up and do the best I can with what I have, and like whatever will happen, you know? And so faith to me is about like letting go and surrendering. Hope to me is all about grasping on and holding on and like hoping for this thing. Faith is hands off. Faith is, I have no idea what's happening. I could make a plan today and in negative 2 seconds, it's not the plan anymore. You know what I mean? And so I think faith is better than hope. That might be a wild thing to say, a wild concept to say. However, I believe it, and I think I'm currently under this theology of living my life under the theology of like crucify hope, because hope is all about grasping onto something, and I think faith is all about surrendering and letting go. And I think we really need to be a culture that is grounded in faith more than hope. Yeah, and so I know that the hot take, feel free to write in the comments or whatever. But with that being said, these YouTube videos are my act of faith. It's my act of doing the one thing. It's the act of faith in myself, faith in God and spirit and divine love, faith in like, I'm just showing up. Listen, y'all, I didn't even know if I would make it. Honestly, I didn't even know if I would be able to upload the videos last night. So the fact that we're on video number 2, that we've made it to day 2, will we make it to day 3? Will we make it tomorrow? I don't know. All I know is that I'm showing up today, that I read day 2 of this book, and I've shared this with you all. You know, I have a lot of passions and things I'm excited about. I'm thinking so much about finally writing my memoir in a book, and then I'm just like, yeah. And then I just talked to a friend on the phone today about how then that book could be made into a movie. Like, I'm so ready for like the documentary of my life. I'm already manifesting that I want Keke Palmer to play me. I think because by the time this documentary will come out, I will be, well, if it's a documentary, I guess I could play myself. But like if it's like a movie adaptation of my book and my memoir, then Keke Palmer will probably be a bit older, but you know, Black don't crack. So even if she's like in her 50s, she will look like she's in her 30s. So then she could play like the 31-year-old Nia who's like, you know, in Brazil and then has to flee Brazil for her safety and like all that different stuff. So I think that Keke Palmer, I'm requesting you to play Nia, 31-year-old Nia, 30s Nia, late 20s, early 30s Nia. Right? I want to do like a docu-series with my loves, mis amores, las mujeres unidas por la vida y la paz en Cali, Colombia. Like, there's so many like exciting things, and I think I don't have to worry about how it's all gonna work out and plan out, and I can start by just like showing up today. And right now, like doing this little YouTube channel and seeing what happens is what we're doing today. So that's what I got. I think I may have made it under 10 minutes. I don't know. We might be close to like 11 or 12, but why not do a little live time ending with the theme song? Wait for it. Hold on. Here we go. forgot it. I messed up the notes. Hold on. Okay, I figured it out. Not me already within 24 hours messing up the notes and forgetting my own theme song. Here we go. Thanks for meandering with Nia, and make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow on episode 3.